glad that you can come and answer our questions. Maybe you can first introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon. I'm Laura Chaubard and I'm head of Ecole Polytechnique, which is the French leading engineering school.
And a few words about myself. I'm the director of the AI Research Center of Artefact. I'm a former student of Polytechnique as well. And actually, one joke is that 15 years ago, I had no lectures on AI and machine learning at Polytechnique, which is not so bad because I did my whole career on AI and machine learning, so it's not a critique. But that's my first question. How did it change the past 15 years, the teaching on AI and machine learning?
Yeah. First, I would like to say you are not alone. Many of our alumni are now very successful in AI, both in big companies, in startups. The most successful startups in France and in Europe have been created by alumni from Ecole Polytechnique and French engineering school. And yet, most of these alumni were not trained during their education at Ecole Polytechnique on AI and machine learning for the simple reason that this technology and the latest models have emerged very rapidly in the, let's say, the 10 last years. But still, I believe that your education at LIX have contributed to your success and your understanding of this field. And I believe that the reason is very simple, is that mathematical knowledge and models are the scientific signature of French science in general, Ecole Polytechnique in particular, and that gave you the keys to learn and succeed in AI. Of course, our programs have changed and adapted a lot in the last 10 years in order to train AI engineers. We have developed master programs and advanced courses for machine learning, AI vision, natural language processing, and various specializations. The next frontier in education is that every engineer will have to be trained to machine learning and learning technologies, where he or she aims at specializing in AI and building the next models, or working in energy, or in transports, in chemistry, in space technologies. They will all have to be trained to these technologies. So the next challenge for us is to transform once again our programs so that every student have like a foundation, not a foundation model, but a foundation training and an opportunity to use, fine-tune, somehow train learning technologies during their studies.
And then, because AI, as you say, is becoming so important for every engineer, AI is always about data and application. It's a very practical science, in a way. Do you manage to have collaborations with companies, private sectors, between the company and the students during the courses?
Yeah. I believe that AI is bringing much closer together fundamental science and mathematical models in particular, and applications. Today's AI is a mix of math and, let's say, a cooking recipe. There's a lot of craftsmanship in the models that are actually working today. And so this is an opportunity because we have a very scientifically fundamental culture, and we also have a tradition of close collaborations with companies and the private and the public sector. So yes, we have over 40 partnerships with companies, And these companies, of course, work with our research labs, but also provide use cases for our student projects.
And you mentioned research lab, and that's my next question, actually. Because the teaching is closely related to research scientists and academic research in general, it's the same people. How do you manage to keep academic research attractive for the students?
That's, I think, a shared challenge with the whole educational sector. How do we keep the best in AI researchers in public labs? First, I would like to say that AI development have contributed a lot to giving value to the PhD in France and Europe, because the big AI companies came from an American culture, Anglo-Saxon culture, and they set the standard to recruit mainly PhDs. And that was not the case previously in France, where the PhD was not valued so much by French and European companies. So that's a huge step, a huge progress for a school like Polytechnique, which trains a lot of PhDs, and a big recognition for public research and training. So that was my first point. We have to invent new ways of collaborating, because it's true, some of the best researchers in AI, some of the best French researchers in AI are not working in public labs. To make good research on AI, you need, that was the point of Paul Midi and Cédric a few minutes ago, you need a very good environment with computing power and access to data. And this is still emerging in the public sphere of research. So we have to open collaborations and also equip ourselves and with computing power and access to data. Polytechnique benefits from the national secured center for public access to the National Center for Access to Public Data. So our labs, our researchers are very close to a wide source of public data from the fiscal administration, from the health administration, from the education administrations. And this is a very attractive matter for research. As far as computing power is concerned, I would say no more than Paul Midi and Cédric O. We are building large clusters at the European level, which will be accessible to researchers and students. I insist on this point. We are building at Ecole Polytechnique a mid-size cluster so that it can be accessible to all students who can play with it, fine-tune of course, in an open source environment. And build their own models.
And in all this, the students are kind of players or even inventors of models. But I guess they're also users of AI, such as generative AI tools. Do you see this change happening within the way students learn and the way teachers teach?
Yes, there's no point denying that every student, and I believe everyone, has tried and tested how generative AI can help them in their everyday tasks, in their everyday homework, and there's no point denying it. It's a fact. It creates a lot of anxiety in the educational, in some educational circles. I remember being a student 25 years ago. It was the time where internet was emerging. And I remember the same questions, wondering if the students would still have something to learn, because the knowledge was accessible in one click all of a sudden, and wondering if the teachers would still have something to teach. So I'm very confident that students will be students and will learn, and teachers will be teachers and will teach. We just have to evolve in our way of teaching, in our way of evaluating the knowledge acquired by our students. And I also believe that AI can be a great opportunity in education. It can enable teachers to have personalized path for teachers to learn, exposing them to the right problem at the right time, helping them progressing even when they're not in class. So I believe it needs adapting, and we are currently adapting our pedagogy to the emerging of AI tools. But I believe it's a great opportunity for education at large, not only higher education, also primary and secondary school.
Thank you. We have to end the interview. Thanks a lot again.
Thanks a lot, Emmanuel.
Hope you enjoyed it.